Hi, I am Jessica Turcios. I'm a teacher at Berea Academy, and this is my very first vlog. Now, I monologued. I'm very, very good at monologuing on Marco Polo. I have references from my sister who has heard me talk endlessly about things, but this is my first actual vlog. So, welcome to my learning journey. I want to talk to you guys today about authenticity and the flow. This is something that I feel like I have been learning a ton about lately in my own life. And so I just kind of wanted to share some thoughts with you. The first thing I want to talk about is what is the flow? What do I mean by that? When I speak to the idea of a flow, I'm talking directly to the idea of the Holy Spirit that lives inside of us, that is leading and guiding. If you have asked him to come and lead and guide you, he is, because he's just good like that, right? So we also have our own internal thoughts and our own internal compass that is just built into us as we are created. And so I think a lot of times we are pushing outside of those things to an external structure to create what we think is right. And they're not always bad things. Structure is a beautiful thing. It's not the only thing. And I think that God gives us both. And it's good to kind of check in and say, what am I hearing? And I know a lot of people get confused with that idea of hearing. Is it words? Is it a dream? Is it this? Is it that? How do I hear the voice of God? And I won't touch into all of those things today, but I will talk about getting quiet. And it is so important to create a space for yourself to be quiet and to listen and check in. And what is that? What is in that flow? So one of the ways we can hear is how we are feeling, what our feelings are saying. And I know there's a line of thinking that says, well, you don't follow your feelings, you just don't do whatever you feel. And of course, to some extent, that's true. However, our feelings are a gift, and our feelings are a gift from God. And he is aware of them. He is aware of the full range of them. He's not shocked by the depth of your grief or the extent of your anger or how you want to sabotage things that are the right idea for you. He's not shocked by any of it. So when I started learning a little bit more about this idea, I started trusting that the God of the universe who created me actually also created my feelings. And if they're a gift, then I want to actually receive them fully. So what does that mean? And so, for example, let's talk about I'm skipping around just a little bit, but let's talk about a normal day. You wake up, you feel great. Maybe your normal day isn't great, but let's just say it is a great day. You wake up, the sun is shining, you are in the mood to do stuff, you have your list, whatever it is, if it's school, if it's chores, if it's, whatever your lifestyle is, you've got the things that you are meant to do today, and you're just bam, 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 getting it done, and you go to bed tired, that good tired, where you just worked your booty off, and it feels amazing, and that's great. So let's call that an A day, okay? Then the next day comes. Maybe you're lucky enough to get another A day. But if you're like me and a lot of other human beings, I would say most other human beings, you might have a B day. And a B day could look anything like, I'm waking up. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep. Maybe I didn't drink my water in the morning, and so my brain's a little foggy, and I'm feeling something else. Maybe I'm dealing with a deep heaviness because I've gotten some news that I'm processing through. Maybe my emotions are not rah, rah, shish kumbah, let's go get them, okay? And so what do I do in that space? Do I need to just push through and go do the thing that my structure says I'm supposed to do? Because there's value in pushing through, right? But is that the most effective way? Is that right for my heart? Is that right for my body and my mind and my spirit? Am I in the flow to get to my goal? Or am I just pushing and pushing and pushing myself in a really unkind way to try to get to this level, right? you can come to your goal a lot of different ways. So if you had to choose between forcing yourself into a space that you're not actually in and is not true about where you're at, or flowing into a space in the order that's coming up naturally, what sounds gentler to you? What sounds nicer for your spirit and your mind? And what maybe is more in line with how God maybe moves, So I'll kind of show you a little bit what that can look like. If I wake up in a day and I'm having a B day and I'm not feeling like into it at all, but I also know that I have responsibilities and I have a goal that I need to get to, I can stop, because I know that in 30 minutes or an hour or whatever of actual clear workspace, I can get more accomplished than like 5 hours of pushing and pushing and pushing and trying to get to something. And I've learned this about myself. I would say that it's probably true about a lot of people. So if I get quiet and I get still and I get calm and I am sensing my emotions are chaotic, I'm listening to that and I'm asking myself, why am I feeling this way? Maybe it's because I need a workout and I need to get my body moving and the blood flowing, and it's just a physical shift that needs to happen. Like I said before, maybe I'm dealing with something heavy and I need to have a good solid cry, or I'm really angry and I need to go punch something that's not going to be damaged in a healthy way and release that anger and work through those emotions and give them their time so that then I can move past them and through them. It takes all the fight away. It doesn't have to be hard, guys, to be good. You can literally flow from one thing to another. And this is the time, like when you're having huge emotions, let's say you are raging and you don't even know what to do with that. Bring a parent in, bring a trusted adult in, ask somebody to get mindful with you and help you to work through these things. We all have these feelings and thoughts that block us from where we're trying to go. And so there's no shame in asking for help. Bring them in. I have mine, I have my own person that I go to with my stuff when I get stuck. And it's a beautiful thing. We have to release the guilt and the shame that comes with not feeling 100% all the time. It creates something false, which is my other point that I want to get to, being authentic. Okay? The God of the universe is fully authentic, and he welcomes us exactly where we are, to be where we are and meet with him, and then he gives us what we need. Okay? However, so many times I feel like we have this idea of what we think he wants to see, and so we're trying so hard to create that, and that's that fight, right? Trying to get to that goal of being something or looking a certain way or acting a certain way. And let me just tell you guys, I can fake it with the best of them. I can look like I'm having an amazing time if I am not having an amazing time. That was a coping mechanism that I learned as a kid that was not healthy for me. And maybe a lot of people have that. I would say probably a lot of people have that. But God does not require that of us. And actually, the faking it thing blocks us from actually getting what we need to be fully real in the place we're trying to be so hard. So what if we just let all that go? What if we connected to God in our authenticity, even if it means that we are not okay? And there's this idea that, well, I don't need that though. Like that's for those people that can't get their stuff together and they don't have the strength and they need that side of Jesus. I'm telling you right now, you guys, we all absolutely need that. And if we were honest, which let me tell you, God prefers, because we can't move past something we're pretending isn't there. What if we didn't pretend? What if we just were angry or were sad or were having a kind of sluggish day and we just actually got our body and our mind and our spirit what it needed? And then we can flow into creating something amazing or feeling joy, not pretending to be happy, but actually feeling joy and gratitude, really, not because it's what is expected of us as somebody who's been created by God, which we all are, but as also somebody who is then choosing to serve God. what if we're not pretending at all? What if we are just being real and allowing ourselves the anger and the fear and the stuff to surface and process through, and then kind of graduating into this lovely, joyful, neutral place? So I'm going to talk real quick a little bit about flow, and just kind of what I've seen with God and the flow. We have seen Jesus model this for us. It is beautiful. The life of Jesus, this phenomenal, beautiful story of thinking outside the box and breaking out of the religious molds and ideas of the time and going against the rigid structure that was only law, by completely fulfilling the law and creating freedom with expression. So, Jesus heals a blind man, okay? He does it 2 different ways. He doesn't even heal a blind person the same way twice. God creates the universe. He doesn't create one fish this day and one fish the next day and, no. One day is fish, one day is light, one day is this, one day is that, one day is humans, one day is, there's a flow to the way that God works. And so I'm just inviting you in to partnering with this idea of relaxing into trusting that the God of the universe speaks through even your feelings about what he wants to talk about that day. And I want to encourage you to, when you sense, I'm feeling heavy, I'm not okay, I'm feeling angry, to stop where you are, sit down somewhere, create some quiet. If you're feeling really big things, please bring a trusted adult in and sit with them. But sit and get quiet and say, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? Write it down. What do I need? And then do what you need. Maybe you need a nap. Maybe it's something physical. Maybe you just need to feel that feeling and trust that God is in it and through it and on the other side of it, and that it's actually his agenda for your morning. Because as much as I love a checklist, I really am more interested in connecting into the wholeness and the fullness, and there's a balance in that we need to not ignore for the sake of A, B, C, and D. Like, we are being invited to something so much more real and so much deeper than anything that is solely structured. Although, again, I love structure and I'm not saying anything against that. But if it's only structure and not living, breathing, guided, authentic connection, we are missing something that is beautiful that God has for us. So I love you guys. I bless you into finding the balance of what that looks like. And of course, if you ever want to chat directly to me, I'm sure you can, especially if you're with Berea. I'm around all the time. But yeah, I love you guys, and be blessed and find your inner quiet voice and let that Holy Spirit start to speak to you there. And if you're only hearing quiet and it sounds like there's nothing there, that's okay. Practice it. As your head clears, as your body stills, you'll start to know like what you want and what you're feeling, and God speaks to us in that way. So anyway, have an amazing time with the rest of this lovely day, and I'll be around. Talk to you soon.